Hey, what is up, everybody? This is your boy AJ Trip. And this is the word according to me. I'm here to talk about this new most outstanding achievement in popular film award that apparently the Academy Award is going to have either this year, either this upcoming awards or in a couple of years. And I think it's bull crap. And for me, in my opinion, this is the way to, give the superhero movies and the all of the big major action movies, their due. The movies that make 200 and 500 and 600 million dollars at the box office, 1.2 billion dollars at the box office. To give those movies, the credit that they deserve. Some credit. But to me, this is a total cop out. This is a total cop out because sometimes sometimes the popular film and is the best film. Like the best film this year, without question, will be Avengers: Infinity War. There's not going to be a movie better than that. I don't care what nobody says. That's a point blank period in the discussion that you can see on my channel. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. So yeah, so that doesn't make any sense. So I have two articles here. I think one explaining it and one some other things. I don't know. One from the Ringer and one from the Hollywood Reporter. So let's go ahead and let's read what's on the Ringer first. Okay, so this is written by Mal Suri, and it says making sense of the Oscars' new popular film award. In an effort to gain more mainstream attention, the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences announced a trio of rule changes on Wednesday. One in particular, though perhaps misguided, could have massive implications. Seemingly every year the Oscars air, worry erupts over the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences bleeding audience. While the failing viewership numbers for the award ceremony have much to do with their changing viewer consumption habits, the Super Bowl is basically the last remaining pillar of event television, and are representative of the steady and overall decline in TV ratings year in and year out. Pundits and the Academy alike conclude that the real problem is that the telecast isn't exciting enough to a large number of people. Absolutely. Who cares about costume design? And why would anyone watch when the most popular movies of the year aren't even nominated? Well, this year the Academy is determined to make its show not boring and remedy these issues that may or may not exist. As the Academy Board of Governors wrote to its members and shared on Twitter Wednesday, three big changes to the Oscars are impending. The telecast will be reduced to 3 hours and feature fewer technical categories. The air date will move up to the beginning of February, starting in 2020, and most importantly, a new category will be added called Outstanding Achievement in Popular Film. These rule changes represent the biggest shift in the Oscars makeup since the Best Picture category was widened to a possible 10 films in 2009. That change was instigated after The Dark Knight, Christopher Nolan's uber-popular, critically acclaimed Batman sequel, failed to register a Best Picture nomination. The public outcry over the snub was a bad look for the Oscars, so the Academy built a bigger pool so that films like it could be included. The truth is, however, that the 2009 rule change has done the opposite. Save for the conclusion of the occasional box office smash like Avatar or Mad Max Fury Road, the widened pool has led to more indie films earning nominations. In trying to make the Oscars a more mainstream event, the Academy made choices that were more esoteric. The majority of Americans, the Oscars are still too far removed from what people see in theaters. Case in point, a movie about fish sex that just made north of $60 million domestically won 4 Oscars this past year, including Best Picture. Oh my God. Yes, yes, yes. The outstanding achievement in popular film is the Academy's attempt to counteract this reoccurring issue. You see what I was talking about? No matter what the thinking goes, popular films will now have a primetime slot during the Oscars telecast. Presumably, if this rule had been implemented a decade ago, the likes of The Dark Knight, Avatar, and Fury Road would have all been popular film winners. And this coming year, Black Panther should be guaranteed a nomination. Well, Black Panther was good, but also Avengers Infinity War. Don't forget about that one. That's the best movie of all time. The effect looming backlash over any Black Panther snub had on these rule changes can't be overstated. The movie was a titanic blockbuster that warranted very early Oscar buzz when it debuted in February. Recent Oscars history, however, suggests the base case scenario for Black Panther is a Best Picture nomination with an outside shot at winning the whole thing, or worse, a replay of the Straight Outta Compton debacle in 2016 when that movie snub gave way to the Oscars So White movement, which was fucking stupid, in my opinion. Quite clearly, the outstanding achievement in popular film category appears to be a preemptive move to avoid controversy, while also addressing the more sweeping problems of dwindling interest in the ceremony. Immediately, though, a couple of obvious issues with the new category jump out. For starters, the Academy has yet to explain what the eligibility requirements will be for a potential nominee. What defines popular? Does this mean all of the top grossing movies will be nominated? Will social media buzz be factored in it? It is also unclear if overlap is allowed, like how Toy Story 3 was nominated for Best Picture as well as Best Animated Feature Film in 2011. Can a very popular movie can also be considered the best movie? Avengers Infinity War. It might make the most sense to separate films by their budget, essentially pitting blockbusters against blockbusters and indies against indie. That, however, would undercut the achievement of very popular mainstream films that do deserve a shot at the best picture. Imagine The Godfather or Gone with the Wind, The Lord of the Rings winning only best popular movie. Eligibility rules are yet to be clearly defined, but they will be crucial to the future of the Oscars. This is a long-ass article. Additionally, what this new article will achieve is an absolvement for the Academy members who routinely fail to include any films that were viewed by a wide audience. This failure lies in the inability to recognize the best from both worlds. For instance, while Moonlight was a deserving Best Picture winner in 2017, one of the only times in recent years I can recall the actual Best Movie of the Year winning the most coveted prize from the Academy, the nominees that year didn't include. The nominees that year didn't include surprisingly gritty Rogue One or a movie like Deadpool, which got an Oscars push from 20th Century Fox. There's also the irony of feeling the need to celebrate popular films by granting them a trophy. Disney will likely prioritize Black Panther's $1.3 billion worldwide gross over Golden Man, and how this could have an adverse effect on indies that get an Oscar spotlight. They keep mentioning Black Panther. Avengers Infinity War, I mean, I love Black Panther, but Avengers Infinity War is the greatest movie of all time. I mean, still, you guys stop with this. And how can an adverse effect on the indies get that get an Oscar spotlight? The Best Picture adjacent indies usually get a nice box office boost from the added attention that now could be turned to films that already made a huge profit. All in all, the latest Academy changes amount to short-sighted posturing, an attempt to put a band-aid and make mainstream a telecast that has already been niched by definition. The new category sounds like fun, but in truth, it may denigrate the films it seeks to honor by putting them in their own box. It amounts to handing out tiny trophies for being popular and having a good Rotten Tomatoes score. Instead of changing its rules, the Academy voting members should do what their positions mandate. Go seek movies both big and small, and don't discriminate. Okay, so now I said I had another one from the Hollywood Reporter. Really quick, let me go back to something. I want to make sure I get this in there because I made a flippant comment when I was talking about the Oscars So White movement, and I said which was bullshit. Before I said something like that, and what I meant by that, I didn't mean necessarily the fact that um, that you know the Oscars needed to widen their base. I think that's good. I think that's good because yeah, there are movies out there. If the Oscars didn't widen their base, I don't know if Moonlight doesn't win a couple years ago. Um, so, um, I think that's all good and rich. But for me personally, in my opinion, the not only was it about Straight Outta Compton, but it was also about Will Smith and the Concussion movie, and Jada Smith getting on her soapbox, and so I thought that was more or less about and him not getting a nomination, them blaming race for it. So you know so that's why I call bullshit, and not the movement in general to which has led to which allowed the Academy to widen their stance and bring more people in and let them nominate more worthy people of all things. I think that's also one of the things that get lost in that they went Oscars so white just because a lot of the black people and black films weren't nominated, but there were not a lot of Latinos, not a lot of Muslims or Asians or anything like that were also nominated as well. So that you know that needed to be focused on as well. So there's a whole big thing about it. Hopefully it doesn't rear its ugly head again. But I wanted to make that clear that I just wasn't calling calling bullshit on what came from it. I was talking about more or less the whole Will Smith stuff. And it really wasn't about progressing black people and minorities. It was about Will Smith being at least that's how I feel, in my opinion. Okay. This is number 2. This is the Hollywood Reporter. This one is from Scott Feinberg. It says Oscars won't televise all awards live as popular film category. So let's read this, and then after this is the last one, and once again I'll give my opinion after reading all of this. The Academy Board of Governors have approved several major changes to the tradition-bound ceremony format in hopes of retaining dwindling number of Oscar telecast viewers. It still has, and luring others back into the fold ahead of the 91st Academy Awards on February 24th, 2019. Major changes coming to the Oscars, he writes. On Tuesday night, just 5 months after the lowest rated Academy Awards telecast on record, a mere 26.5 million viewers tuned in, and they worried about that. The Academy of Motion Pictures, after the AMPAS, a board of governors, not only re-elected cinematographer John Bailey as its president, but it also approved several major changes to the ceremony format in hopes of retaining viewers it still has. To address those concerns to those who find the show to be too long and boring, Bailey and Academy CEO Don Hudson said in a letter that they have committed to producing an entertaining show in 3 hours. They explained that this will be achieved partly by presenting select categories live in the Dolby Theater during commercial breaks. These categories will not be removed from the telecast. Instead, the winning moments will be edited and aired later in the broadcast. This new format is similar to the one employed at the Tony Awards, which are broadcast on CBS to recognize some of its lower profile categories. Okay, so and then he says that the Tonys present those awards in record acceptance speeches of them, and record, acceptance speeches of them during a pre-telecast portion of the ceremony. That's what they should do. They should have the people who are there, before the major. I don't know why they don't do that anyway, because there's really people care about what, maybe 8. They care about 8 categories: Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, Best Actress, Supporting Actor, Supporting Actress, animated film and maybe documentary, at least from a fan's point of view, maybe. Because I'm the ones, so I don't know. Normal people really care about screenplays and other things like that, but that's neither here nor there. The fact that this change has been endorsed by the Academy's Board of Governors, which is dominated by the representative of below-the-line branches who Oscar winners could be impacted by this, is a testament to how dire the situation is, as far as the telecast ratings are concerned. Still, one can safely expect a groundswell of protests from some of the members of those branches. Okay, so let's see. Let's get to the one that I was talking about. Okay. At least as important in terms of improving the ratings, the Oscars telecast for ABC, the Academy also said in a letter that it would create a new category for outstanding achievement in popular film, adding that legitimate requirements and other key details will be forthcoming. Some would complain that adding such a category cheapens or MTV Movie and TV Award, but that is old world thinking. More than the length of the telecast or the name of the host, Oscar ratings have been shown to correlate with the popularity of the nominated films among the general public, and the gulf between what the public buy tickets to see and what the category nominates. And the awards have never been greater. If the Popular Film Award, likely to be named the Popcorn Oscar, is implemented in time for the 91st Oscars, then there is little doubt that ratings will improve, since blockbusters like Black Panther, Avengers: Infinity War, Deadpool 2, Mission Impossible, Fallout, and Mamma Mia! Here We Go Again, and their fan favorite stars will be guaranteed a presence at the ceremony. One can safely assume that their backers will not have to decide or not whether to enter competitive categories for the popular film category, but will automatically be eligible for both. Black Panther already was expected to seriously contend for competitive nomination and awards. The Academy notified members that the date of the 92nd Oscars, the one that would take place in 2020, honoring the films of 2019, has been moved up from the previously announced February 23rd to February 9th. Is that the Super Bowl? No. The Super Bowl will be on the second, damn. The Super Bowl will be on the second. Yeah. Still, that's not really good. That might be going up against the All-Star game. And guess what? I'm gonna watch an All-Star game. In all likelihood, this is to combat the sense that the Oscars have become anticlimactic and coming as it does at the end of a months-long season in which it is preceded by dozens of award ceremonies. Those ceremonies won't fade away as a result of the calendar change, but people inside the industry will certainly be less burned out by the time the Oscars finally come along. Below is a full text of the ministers, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so that was Scott Feinberg of the Hollywood Reporters thing. Both the links to the articles of what I read will be down in the description box below. Once again, I'm going to reiterate my point. I'm not a big fan of this. I think this is BS. I think this is definitely, without question, this is their get out of jail free card, because, you know, like the first article said, they want to give all these love to all these artsy fartsy indie movies. You know, like, you know, with the fish having sex with somebody, right? You know, they want to give the Best Picture Oscar to that, and that's nowhere near the Best Picture. I've said it 3 times already in this video. I'll say it for the 4th time. Avengers: Infinity War is the best movie of this year, and there's no film coming after it. I love Black Panther, but there was no film before it that is better than Avengers: Infinity War, and I'm almost certain it made the most money. It went past Black Panther. This article said Black Panther had 1.2 billion. And I'm almost certain Avengers Infinity War, do a quick Google search here, right? yeah. So it's gonna take a little bit of time here. Comcast raising my internet speeds up, but still goes slow. Okay, so I don't know, but I'm almost certain that they outdid Black Panther. Yo, okay, look at this. Okay, so Avengers: Infinity War box office is 2.45 billion US dollars. Deadpool 2 is 732.6 million US dollars. Black Panther, as of May 22nd, is 1.344 billion US dollars made. Solo, a Star Wars story, 5.108 million dollars. Right. So, according to this new thing, you have right there 4 of the 5 most popular films. Now again, we have to see about what their things will be, but but right there we've got 2 films that made over $1 billion, one that's made over a $500 million, and one is over $5 million. So would those be on the in the popular film category? I would guess so, right? But then, like both articles said, can they cross over? If they're in the popular film category, they can't. Can they be in the best picture category? Because I think fifth time Avengers: Infinity War is the best picture. They should be nominated. And Black Panther, again, damn good movie. I wouldn't be upset if Black Panther was nominated. I would be upset if Black Panther was nominated and Avengers Infinity War wasn't nominated, for Best Picture. I would be upset then. But I'm also going to be upset if Josh Brolin doesn't get nominated for Best Actor, for Thanos, and Chris Hemsworth doesn't get nominated for Best Supporting Actor for Thor. I'm also going to be upset at that, too. That's another thing they had to realize about that, too. I talked earlier about spending their wide zone for all things, and they need to do that for not only the pictures, but for, the actors, too, because, come on now. There's no way that you can't put Josh Brolin, what he did for Thanos, in that, as not the best, the best actor. So, anyway. I just have a really bad feeling that that's what they're gonna do. And what they're gonna do, they're gonna push all these movies into that popular film category instead of putting them in the best picture category, where a couple of them may belong, right? A couple of them may belong, and and they would just go ahead and say, "Hey, now come watch our show. You like Avengers? You like Black Panther? You want Chadwick Boseman to go Wakanda forever? Come see, yeah, come see our show." And it's first of all, the fact that it's still 3 hours is totally bunk. Take it down. I said it before. Take it down to 90 minutes, maybe even 2 hours. Right, 2 hours. Started at 7:30, 7:30 Central Time. It's 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central. Started there, right? And give yourself that extra time, because they always run over. They always run over for some reason. But give yourself that extra half hour. So you cut it down to 2 hours, but then give yourself that extra half hour, so that if something happens, mistake, whatever, you still have that extra hour, so that you will go into the 11 o'clock Eastern Time, 10 o'clock Central Time hour. So if you want to do that, then you can do that. But I'm really not a big fan of this. I really am not. We'll have to see about we'll have to see about the what the nominations are like. I probably will, when the nominations come out in the new year, I probably will do a review of that, and then I probably will do a rapid reaction to the Academy Awards. Even though I probably won't, I won't watch it fully, but I'll keep my eye on like the big awards and see if there are like, see if anything strange happened. The last couple of years we've had some great things with Chris Rock and having his little girls come out selling cookies, and then we had Jimmy Kimmel a couple of years ago bringing a bus and the guy from Chicago out there taking pictures, took pictures with Denzel, and then you had the last year they surprised folks at a movie theater. So I'll probably do a rapid reaction afterwards at that. But yeah, I think this is total bunk. This is just their way of trying to shut people up like myself that want Avengers: Infinity War to get its just due and win the actual Best Picture Oscar. But here, you can take your most popular film award, and you can take the popcorn award that guy said. So, I'm so scared of that. So, we'll have to see where it goes. Post your comments down below. Tell me what you guys think. Tell me what you guys think is going to happen. Are you guys worried that some of your favorite movies that you've seen this year, like Mission Impossible, like Black Panther, like Avengers: Infinity War, like Deadpool 2, like Solo, a Star Wars story, or anything else, is going to be not given its just due by putting it in the most popular film, instead of putting it in the Best Picture film? And also, by the way, let me also ask you this: are you also maybe okay with this? Because you can also, because maybe there's something like Deadpool 2. I don't think Deadpool 2 was a good movie. I don't think it's Oscar worthy, but now with this popular film, it will get recognition. And maybe are you happy about that? Well, at least maybe a movie I like will get recognition finally. So, and are you going to watch the Oscars? Are you really going to watch the Oscars, no matter what happens? Do you like to watch it? Are you going to watch it? So, post all your thoughts and comments in the comment section. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and as always, thank you guys so much for watching. This is your boy AJ Tripp signing off. As always, be good to each other, y'all. Be careful out there, and I am out.